Hey you guys, it's Lynn here and I am back again to do a new video today. It's almost Halloween and I am so excited. I feel like Halloween is that one time of the year where every cosplayer kind of comes out of their shell to join all the regular normal people, their friends and family who don't do cosplay but are choosing to dress up at this time of year. And it's just so magical and special. It's like the cosplayer's Christmas almost. Anyways, let's get into today's topic. I'm going to bring up an extremely controversial, vulnerable, kind of hard to talk about topic today, so I just want to warn you guys, you don't have to watch this video if you don't want to, but I hope you do to understand my viewpoint and thoughts about this very controversial subject. So today, we are going to be talking about cosplay and body issues, specifically body modifications to look a certain way for cosplayers. So I want to make it very clear that these are my thoughts and opinions based off my life experiences, the people around me, and also what I have gained knowledge-wise from watching people's videos with their experiences on it and personal in-life experiences. So let me just start off by saying something which I think is something we really need to all talk about. But recently, plastic surgery and body modifications for cosplayers has gotten so much more common than it used to be. Now, I think there's a lot of different reasons as to why this is. One of them just happens to be that a lot of people are influencers now. They have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube platforms. They have lots of people watching them constantly. And a lot of times they are getting body modifications done behind the scenes without ever really bringing it up or talking about it. And so a lot of people kind of see these influencers and think that's just what their body looks like naturally. And in order to copy it, you need to do something drastic. The other reasons are more due to the plastic surgery industry, which is having tons and tons of advertisements like plastic surgery will make you look skinnier, it'll make your butt look better, you'll have a happier, more fun life, more people will want to date you, you'll have more friends, and all your friends will be beautiful too. Just kind of like these weird lies that we're told, but the plastic surgery industry kind of makes it even more intense than it already is. And then, of course, making it easier for the average everyday person to get plastic surgery done. So no, you don't need a huge wallet or parents who are rich to be able to help you do this. We have financing options now. You can't pay it off in a year, that's okay. We have 6-year, we have 10-year, and we have 20-year deals for you to pay this off. So there's a lot of different things that are kind of funneling into this that are making it so like plastic surgery is becoming more of a normal everyday thing. I want you guys to look at everyone around you, not in your closest social circle, but in the broader social circle that you have. So coworkers, family, friends, people you see at the grocery store every day. And I guarantee you at least a handful of them have had plastic surgery done in order to make something in their body look different, not for any medical reason, but just because they felt badly about that body part. So let's talk about now the cosplay side of this for a little bit. Let's just be quite honest here. When we cosplay, we are cosplaying because we are trying to kind of become and embody the characters that we love. Everything from Avatar: The Last Airbender to League of Legends. I'm just talking personal here right now. But we kind of like fall in love with these characters so much that we're like, what if we could become them for a day and we could just kind of like embody who they are? But this is kind of where this really hard subject comes in, which we need to be very honest here. Anime bodies are not realistic human bodies. I mean, you can watch Code Geass, you can watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and see, obviously, those bodies don't look anything like the average human body. I mean, if you're 7 feet tall and 300 pounds with giant muscles, that's obviously not a realistic human form. But then we have a lot of other animes that kind of are thrown into the mix where they're more realistic, but in a very unrealistic way. And I'm talking a lot about the female side of cosplaying because a lot of anime characters have extremely large busts and butts, but extremely small waists and upper bodies. So when you start to see this over and over and over, and you're a cosplayer, you start to get this weird thing in the back of your mind that like, I want to have a body like my character does. and you kind of start to lose sight of what the real healthy human body actually looks like. So, when we're being honest here, you can lose a ton of weight and get down to an anime waist size. Is it healthy? Probably not. But the other thing is, you're most likely going to lose your bust and your butt, a very large portion of it, when you do so. The other thing is, you can gain weight to gain volume in those areas, but if you do so, you will gain weight all over. You can't choose and pick. And this is where a lot of people start to fall to plastic surgery. Now, there are actually a lot of cosplayers out there who have been quite honest about their experiences with getting body modifications and plastic surgery done. So I really recommend you go watch some of their videos to actually see the process of what it looks like to be a person who is going into a surgery. It's kind of funny because I feel like when we say the word surgery, people are like, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you going to be okay? Like, do you need help? But when we say plastic surgery, people are like, oh, that's no big deal. That's something totally different. So let's talk more about the actual process of getting plastic surgery done and why, to the average person, it might seem like something that is so easy and attainable and it will make you look beautiful and it'll make you feel good. But in the end, I feel like there is a lot deeper issues if you are kind of falling into plastic surgery in order to solve your problems. Now, keep in mind, these are my thoughts and my opinions. I'm going to give you guys kind of my medical experience of getting things done by a surgeon and what I've seen other people who have gotten plastic surgery done, kind of my experiences with that. So I'm going to first tell you guys what my personal experience is myself. So I talked about this in a very past video, but last year I completely injured my spine. I had an L5-S1 disc herniation in my back, which means the disc that is right above your tailbone collapses in on itself and kind of pushes out and pushes into a nerve, which causes very, very severe amounts of pain, trouble with walking. It can result in nerve damage that is permanent. It can result in not being able to walk normally again. Now, when you go through a very major injury, doctors are going to tell you, and this will sound really weird because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, if I get injured, my doctor is going to be like, let's do surgery. When you get majorly injured, unless it is life-threatening, your doctor will take a good long amount of time to decide if you need to do surgery or not. So when I had this injury occur, my first thought was, I need back surgery. And my spine specialist's first thought was, no, we do not do it that way. You do not just jump into surgery. I know that you're in a lot of pain. I know that you can't walk. I know that you're having a lot of problems with this. I couldn't work for weeks. I lost the ability to walk. I was on very heavy pain medications. Like, this was not an easy thing. This was a very serious issue. However, they did not want to rush me into surgery for many reasons, but the biggest being that doing something invasive to your body carries a lot of risks with it. So you have to weigh the positives of getting it done with the risks. And if the risks and the positives are too balanced, that is not when you want to get surgery. It's when the pros are higher than the risks. So this is what my spine specialist told me. They said, when we have an injury or a severe problem, we always start with the least invasive and then work our way up. So what I ended up getting done was what they call spinal epidurals, which means that I am awake in a twilight state. So they give you general anesthesia, which means that you are not fully there, but you know what's going on. You're awake, you're breathing, you're looking around. And what they do is they take, and I'm just going to be very clear with you guys here, this is a little graphic, but I want to be honest with you. They take a very large needle. They numb up your back really good all around your spine. They take this very large needle, they put it into your back, into the area that is herniated, and they fill it with a steroid that helps your body heal. And let me tell you guys, this is one of the easiest kind of like surgical procedures you can get done. Tons of people have it when they have back injuries. And I will tell you, based on my experiences, that for one, a lot of risks are associated with it. You literally have to fill out this like massive amount of forms the day that you go in, initialing and checking and signing, saying you might be paralyzed, you might have severe nerve damage from this, we might mess up and do it wrong, we might make your problem worse, you might die. Like, they say this on paper to take away liability from the doctors in the hospital, because obviously mistakes happen. Something might happen while they're in there. You know, they might run into another problem they weren't expecting. Like, those things are normal and they happen to everyday people who are going in for small procedures. The second thing is that it kind of weighs on you when you first get in there that I'm about to have a surgical procedure done. Like, what if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of my cat? Will my spouse be okay on their own? Like, what if I am paralyzed and someone has to come take care of me? Like, these thoughts all kind of come in at once and you're like, ooh, this is actually really heavy. And let me tell you guys, that all came to me and I was in severe amounts of pain. I knew I had a major injury and I couldn't walk. I was actually in a wheelchair in the appointment. So when people say that they're getting plastic surgery done and they make it seem like it's this small, easy, fun thing, I'm gonna be so beautiful afterwards, it's such an easy procedure, they do it all the time, it's nothing to worry about, I take it very, very seriously, because I'm like, I've had a small surgical procedure done and even that was associated with so many risks. When they're putting you all the way under for like an actual plastic surgery, like, oh my gosh, that isn't little, that is a big thing. Now let me tell you guys my experiences with other people who have had actual plastic surgery done. So I know one girl, my very, very close friend I've known since childhood, who had a breast reduction done. And I've known another girl who had, I don't know what you call it, I think they call it breast augmentation or something, where like implants pretty much. So I've seen both sides. I've seen them take away stuff and I've seen them put things, foreign things in the body. So with my close friend who got breast reduction done, obviously that was more on the health side of things, because as a girl who was under 5 feet tall and having almost G-sized bust, it's extremely uncomfortable. You have many, many back problems. You have issues with clothes that fit you even when you are at your thinnest and dieting and whatever. It just like, it will never change throughout your life. And this is why a lot of insurances actually cover breast reduction. She had really severe back problems. She had a lot of issues up in her shoulders because the bra straps would dig in and cause severe amounts of pain. I remember her complaining because when we would want to go like in the hot tub or swimming and she had like a halter top kind of like bikini on, it would like dig into her neck and it would hurt all the time. And also the other side of always being sexualized no matter what you wear, because your bust is just so large, it can be extremely embarrassing, and especially for a young girl, it can be traumatizing growing up with that. So I 100% understood why she wanted to get it done. I was very supportive. But this is my experience. I actually went and saw her the day after she had it done, and she told me that one of the things that happened that she wasn't really expecting was the fact that she had such a bad reaction to the anesthesia. So a lot of times when you're waking up from the plastic surgery procedures, everyone has a different reaction to the anesthesia. Now, even the cosplayers that talk about their plastic surgery experiences and talk about what it was like for them to wake up, they kind of gloss over this, because I'm not gonna lie, some of it can be scary. You wake up, you're not really sure where you are, you're kind of scared. A lot of people cry. My friend got extremely sick afterwards and threw up like a whole lot because your body is like adjusting to it. It can make you really dizzy. Some people have breathing problems. Like, it's not, a lot of people make it to seem like, oh, I fell asleep and then it was like I was just waking up and it was all fine. It's not like that, and it's not pretty. And they typically put you in a recovery room where there is like, I don't know what you call it, like curtains in between the beds, and you can hear other people like vomiting and stuff. So it's not like this magical, easygoing thing like people make it to seem like. She ended up having another issue later on, which was, even though she had the reduction done, the doctors tell you very specifically, if you end up gaining weight after this, your bust can come back, and it can come back even bigger. There's not really a way to stop it. You can just try to stay really healthy and stay fit and like eat right and all that to kind of keep it away. But even if you do everything right, it might still come back. There's like a reason why your body is storing that fat there. So unfortunately for her, some of it did come back, not as bad as before, but I mean, she had scarring. She had to go through a very long healing process. And I remember her being all bandaged up for the whole week after that. And, you have to go back in for follow-up appointments to make sure that the scarring isn't too bad and that, everything is healing upright. Like, people make it seem like it's this easy, quick fix, and it really isn't. Like, for her to make that decision was a very weighted decision. It wasn't like, oh, I just want to get this done to look pretty. It was like, okay, I have to weigh, like, this is going to be something really tough to do, and I have to weigh, like, is it right for me? What are the pros against the cons? Like, what could happen possibly? Am I ready to deal with that? My other experience with someone who actually got implants put in was an old coworker I used to work with who I was very close to. And she was extremely honest about her whole situation, which I was very grateful for. I feel like a lot of people get plastic surgery, and then if things don't go the way they expected, they can be kind of like embarrassed to ever bring up the fact because they're paying a lot of money for it and a lot of time to heal and a lot of time to take care of themselves. So if things don't go as planned and you're not quite happy in the end, most people just won't bring up that fact because they're embarrassed. So from my understanding, she had gotten the implants actually before I had met her, and she is an extremely, extremely tiny woman. So her pant size and shirt size was more closer to like tween sized clothing, I guess, and her height is like slightly shorter. So for her, she had an extremely, extremely flat chest just naturally, which I guess she was extremely uncomfortable with. She didn't like the way clothes fit on her. She just felt very uncomfortable with it. So she ended up getting influenced to go get implants put in. Now, what they don't tell you when you get the implants put in is that it's not like a one and done type thing. You have to go back in for follow-up appointments for them to take a look and make sure everything looks good. But not only that, they usually recommend that between 10 to 20 years from the first surgery, you'll probably need a secondary surgery to get it looking back like that again. A lot of people think that when you get implants, it's just the implant part that they're worried about, but honestly, your skin sags over time. That's just like a natural part of aging. And so your bust will not look beautiful and perky forever. Over time, it will sag. It will start to maybe not sag at the same rate and maybe kind of not look so even anymore. Like, that's something that can actually happen. For her, she had a lot of issues after the surgery too. From what I understood, she was not exactly happy with how it came out. It was not exactly what she wanted, and she felt like she had paid a lot of money to have this done. So she went back to the surgeon and said, like, hey, this is not how I wanted it to look. Is there any way I can get it fixed? And so she had to wait for it to completely heal and then go back in for secondary surgery, which was botched. And this happens. Even the most reputable, best surgeon you can go to, most professional, can accidentally mess up, and it happens to a lot of people. She was really honest with us about it, saying about her experience and how it was so poor, and if she was going to go back and get it done again, she would. She really did want to get that type of plastic surgery done, but she would go to someone else, do more research, maybe wait more time until she could make a better decision and not rush into it because it had a lot more risks associated with it than people had mentioned to her. So when you go in, so I think I kind of mentioned it before. Let's talk about a few things, a few of my thoughts on plastic surgery in general. When you go in for any surgical procedure, they make you sign so many waivers. And I just told you guys this about even my experience with the tiny small surgical procedure. They make you sign a million waivers, a bunch of, little initials next to things saying you might die, you might get paralyzed, you might not have use of your legs, you might have severe body complications, you might have breathing problems, you might have a seizure during the anesthesia, and you're signing next to this, which means you're saying, I know the risks and it might happen to me and I accept that. So this is not a small and easy, not big deal type thing. This is a very big deal. The other thing is that the healing process can be rough for some people, and some people bounce back from it and they're like good, and you would never even know that they ever had plastic surgery, and some people don't bounce back as quick and they have complications further on. Now, one of the things I want to talk to you guys about with plastic surgery, and this is something that my spinal doctor brought up that I never thought about, every surgical procedure that you have done during your life follows you throughout your life. And even though you might heal from this procedure and everything goes well, if you have something happen, a very catastrophic accident, a severe body problem, an injury, something internal that happens later on, your surgery that you are getting done right now that goes smoothly can also affect that later on surgery. So the way my doctor said is that the more invasive you are with the body, the more your body gets trauma to it, gets scar tissue, and has stuff going on inside that you can't necessarily see. Now, if they're doing a surgery to save your life, you've been in a horrible car accident, something's happened to you and you need to have your life saved by a surgeon, they would rather work on someone who has had 0 surgeries or as few surgeries as possible than someone that has had more surgeries, because more surgeries equals more risk down the line. And when they cut you open, they don't know what they're going to find. There might be scar tissue in there. There might be something covering up what they need to get to. And they would like a patient that has less risks so that they can heal better and they have a better chance of living down the line. And this was something big for me to understand, because when I got my spinal epidurals done, all I could think about was, I just want to be out of pain right now. I want to be able to walk. I hate this. I'm unhappy. But when my doctor explained it like that, I started to realize, oh, you're right. I don't want to get spinal surgery done right now, because what if I need it later on and they're having a harder time doing the later surgery because of the one they just did now? The other side of this that I really feel like I need to bring up is that when someone is willing to risk their health and life to get a life-altering procedure done, there is typically a mental illness that is playing into this. So let's talk about body dysmorphia for a moment. Remember how I brought up the fact that I was just saying that a lot of people look at their anime or video game character and want their body, and it just, in their head, they're like, well, I work out, I eat very few calories, I take really good care of myself, and I still can't look like the character. There is typically a body dysmorphia order that is kind of disorder that's going on behind the scenes in their head, telling them you have to look this way. You will never be that character until you have that thigh gap, or you have those double D boobs, or you have that really perky round butt. You just won't be them. You're not good enough. And when people start to kind of believe this little voice in their head, that's kind of when they go to extreme lengths to start looking that way. As someone who used to work in the beauty industry, body dysmorphia is what puts a lot of money in people's pockets, because the more that people hate about themselves, the more money the beauty industry makes. So even though you can put on makeup, do your eyebrows, do your hair, try on different clothes, and have fun and experiment, that doesn't mean you need to go to lengths to actually change your body, except through exercise and healthy eating, which I will obviously always agree with, because get healthier if you can, but don't harm yourself doing it. Especially, I am thankful to many cosplayers who bring up the fact of body dysmorphia. And it was very interesting because recently I saw a video on YouTube of quite a famous cosplayer who got plastic surgery done. And she even said in the video, yes, I have body dysmorphia. It is active. I still work on it all day long. But at the same time, she was also talking about how she got plastic surgery. So it was almost weird. You could almost see like a disassociation of, I have this mental illness, but I still did it anyways. And it turned out great. it's just very odd to see in someone where they're just very blunt and positive about it, but at the same time, you would wish they would go get help, because that's probably what they need, is actually some mental help. And then also, let's bring up the last topic here, which is, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say this, but if I don't say it, I don't want people to just assume it. Even after you get surgery, like let's say you go in and you have them lipo 20 pounds off you, you have a smaller waist, a bigger butt, a bigger bust, you look perfect. You look like the best, most anime-like character cosplayer ever. It does not mean you will be happy. And in fact, the more plastic surgery people get, typically starts to make them start to nitpick their body to the point where they get more and more and more and more. I guarantee you, if someone gets one plastic surgery type procedure done and doesn't have a horrible time with the recovery or healing process, they will probably end up getting 2 or maybe 3 or maybe even more than that done. And it's kind of scary. As someone who went through aesthetic school work in the beauty industry originally, there were girls in my class who were 25 years old and had already had their first facelift. There were girls in my class who had had lip injections done. And these are young women who already look beautiful and youthful. And there's this kind of weird thought of, I need to be the best, I need to look the best, I need to be the hottest person in the room. Like, oh, my lips are too small. Oh, my eyebrows aren't arched enough. My hair isn't long and thick enough. I need to go get extensions. I need to do this, this, this. And then it just kind of like gets overwhelming. Like, you're never good enough. You never feel happy enough. And you start to kind of lose sight of what's really important in life. So to end this video, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm glad that you took the time to watch this and hear my thoughts and opinions on it. I know that everyone has different thoughts and opinions on plastic surgery and body procedures. From my perspective, I think it's worth it to wait in case you ever need a life-changing procedure that is extremely critical to your way of life. Although plastic surgery might seem easy or a fast fix, it does not guarantee happiness. It does not guarantee your body looking like that forever. And honestly, a lot of people want to make you feel bad about yourself so that they can gain something from that. And by not feeling bad about yourself, you're kind of fighting the system, and you're like, you know what? I like the way I am. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have friends. I have hobbies. I do cosplay. I have good costume making skills. And like, that's all that matters. The perfect body does not need to be in that equation to make me feel like a better person. So anyways, I guess I'll do another video soon for you guys. If it's after Halloween, I hope you guys go out and have like a super awesome, fun, happy Halloween and wear costumes and eat tons of candy and just have a great time, whatever you do. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.